We're nibbling around the edges here. Every bill that comes to this floor that's relevant to this issue, we try to shoehorn into it a Buy American provision. We try to increase the Buy America laws. We try to make certain that your tax money is going to be spent on American-made equipment. That's our agenda. Have we been successful? No. No, we've not. When the half-baked, worthless transportation bill that was brought to the floor by our Republican colleagues who could not even get agreement in their own caucus, we tried to put a provision, an amendment on. It was rejected. It was rejected. Americans want to go to work. Public policy matters. Will your tax dollars be spent buying Chinese steel? Give you another example. In Los Angeles, they went out to buy new light rail cars. 2 bids were the final bids. One by Siemens, yes, a German company, who has a manufacturing plant for light rail cars in Sacramento, California. Siemens said that their light rail cars would have a minimum of 80% American-made content. A Japanese company came in and said, we'll do it for 60%. And there was a slight difference. I think it was about 2%. Difference in the bids. So what did the MTA, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, do? They chose the Japanese company. American jobs lost immediately in Sacramento as a result of that decision. Now, whose money is going to be spent buying those cars, those light rail cars? Whose money is it? Your money. It's your tax money. Good for Japan. They're going to get some jobs. Bad for Sacramento. Layoffs already occurred, and more to come. You want another example? I'll just use California. That's where I'm from. The Bay Area Rapid Transit System, BART. $3.2 billion for new trains over 10 years. $3.2 billion. 2 bids. One, Bombardier, fine Canadian company, said they would build them with 66% American content. Okay? That's good. Not good enough, because Alstom, a French company, said they would build them with 90% American-made content. Yes, a little more expensive, but we're talking $1 billion of American jobs here. The Bay Area Rapid Transit System said, well, the federal government says it's 60%, and we're going to have to go with 66. I said, and thousands of Californians said, and New Yorkers, where most of these jobs would be, Alstom has a plant in New York to manufacture light rail and heavy rail cars. They said, wait, let's take 2 months, and let's rebid this. And let's see what we can do. Alstom was prepared to lower their bid if they would have had an opportunity. And $1 billion of American jobs are not here. They're somewhere else around the world. Public policy matters. Public policy matters. I think it's about time to wrap up here. So I'm going to go back to where we started. What if? What if the House of Representatives, under the control of our Republican colleagues, totally under their control, and the Senate, also under the control of the Republicans, because it takes 60 votes there. What if the President's American Jobs Act had been taken up and passed? We'll modify it. And don't forget, it was fully paid for, 100% paid for. No increase in the deficit. Economists said clearly 1,300,000 jobs would immediately result from the President's American Jobs Act. What if? What does it mean to you and your community? Would that road have been built? Would you have had the job paving that road, repairing and painting that bridge? Down at the local school, painting the school, cleaning up the playgrounds, putting new toilets into the restrooms, or specifically, a new laboratory in the high school. Not laboratory, but laboratory. What if? What if? We had put aside partisan politics, and keep this in mind, the Republican leader of the Senate, the day or shortly after President Obama was inaugurated, he said that his #1 goal was to make sure that this was a one-term president. So how do you do that? Well, when the President proposes an American Jobs Act that would employ 1,300,000 Americans immediately, you make certain that it doesn't become law. You slow it down. Everything has to be 60 votes in the Senate. And here in this House, you do not even take it up. You don't allow a vote on it. You don't do a transportation bill. You don't take the $50 billion injected immediately into infrastructure, totally paid for. You don't do it, even though that would employ tens of thousands of Americans. You make certain that the 288,000 teachers that have been laid off across America are not rehired, so that my daughter's classroom is not 22 students, it's 35 students. How do you destroy a president? You make certain that this economy doesn't move. You take his American Jobs Act and you sit on it. That's what's happened. The great what if. What if we'd put Americans back to work? Yeah, maybe Obama would get reelected. Maybe I'd get reelected. But I tell you this, Americans would be working. Americans would be working. What if? Mr. Speaker, I yield back my time.
The gentleman yields back. The chair lays before the House the following enrolled bills.
H.R. 5890, an act to correct a technical error in Public Law 112-122.
Does the gentleman from California have a motion? Does the gentleman from California have a motion?
Of course I do. You ought to go home. Madam Speaker, I note that having accomplished absolutely nothing this week on jobs, we may as well adjourn, and I move to adjourn.
The question is on the motion to adjourn. Those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. According to the House, stands adjourned until 10 a.m. on Tuesday, June 12, 2012.